Our first speaker in today's conclave is an accomplished and admired learning and development professional. He has over 3 decades of professional experience. He is on a mission to inspire SME and family-run businesses for transformation. A certified life and business coach, he wants to help entrepreneurs lead a more meaningful and productive life through his unique personal coaching model. He is also director at Data Solutions Private Limited and Evacity Learning and Consulting LLP. In his session on personal coaching, he will share how coaching can create a deep inner transformation for entrepreneurs, thereby impacting their team members towards meaningful and inspiring performance. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Anand Kulkarni. Over to you.
Thank you, Parul, for the wonderful introduction, and Juhi for sharing so many achievements of in such a short span time. Well, yes, this is Anand Kulkarni here, and I'm before you. Today we'll be discussing certain aspects about what is coaching all about. When we talk about coaching, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? And if you observe very minutely, this coaching has come up to us from the childhood days. We have been doing it for our children. We have been listening from our elders. We have been giving it to our friends. These are all advices. So there is a confusion that is happening between what is coaching, what is mentoring, what is, therapy, and all those aspects. So I thought, let me just give you a brief analog of how exactly coaching can be utilized for the benefit of developing people particularly. Today, I'll be focusing my entire energies on how leaders can use coaching as a model for the purpose of training their employees, for the purpose of educating their employees, and also connecting them to their true self. Coaching has got an inherent capability of maximizing the individual potential. I'm sure you people will agree that every individual is unique. He has come with some purpose on this earth, and that purpose needs to be realized. Coaching, when utilized for mind, body, and spirit, all three together, the effective result becomes much more better. When I say every individual is unique, he or she has got some quality which can be utilized for the betterment of him or her in the entire journey of life. And what does a coach really do? Does it tell you anything to do? No. Coach is a person who connects you to yourself in a much more deep-rooted way. He connects to your capabilities that you possess. He connects you to the entire journey of your life. People behave the way they behave because of their past conditioning. If at all somebody has got an approach of negative thought process, if he's spreading negativity, or maybe, if he's trying to show one-upmanship, or he's trying to maybe, create a sort of a ruckus within the organization, you as a leader can sit with him, coach him, tell him what he is really. And he is doing that because of his past conditioning. And where does this past conditioning come from? Maybe one or two small instances that have happened in his childhood days are the main focus areas which are responsible for his behavior currently. Can that be corrected? The answer is yes. If a coach intuitively asks certain questions and takes him back to that particular place where he has attracted that kind of an incident in his life which has triggered negative emotions. Let us understand one thing, my dear friends. We are all a bundle of energy. And the energy that we radiate is the one that we attract. There's a universal law which I constantly repeat, and I truly love that also. The world outside is the reflection of the world inside. My inside world is deciding my leadership capabilities. My inside world is deciding what I am supposed to do and how I am supposed to position myself. I treat every individual the way, in which I want to be treated. If at all I want to be treated with respect, I need to give respect. And I can give respect only if I have within it. So leaders of today, leaders of this organization or any organization needs to understand one thing very categorically, that every individual has got immense potential. And can we try to focus and utilize that potential to his and the organization's greatness is what is the job of a leader. Leaders till date are telling people what to do. Can we shift from telling to asking? The telling leadership normally is dictatorial, and it says you need to do this. But if you give a reason for an individual why he needs to do that, then there is every possibility that the result can be very, very positive, and it can impact the individual to a very large extent. And when the individual gives his maximum potential output, then he grows, his organization grows, and the entire surrounding where he is staying or where he is belonging grows. That's the whole objective of mind, body, and spirit coaching exercise, which I'm trying to talk about. I'm sure you people will agree that there is a set process in which coaching can be done. There are different methodologies, and these methodologies are asking different type of questions, and those questions needs to be open-ended. It cannot be an yes, no type of a question. Coaching in the current stages, my dear friends, is one of the powerful tool that can be used by every individual. In the Gurukul studies, in the childhood days, or in the ancient Indians times, if you observe, this was one of the special tools that the sages or maybe the acharyas and the gurus were using. They were never giving an answer. Coach never gives an answer. The guru never gives an answer. He creates situations, he creates understanding around a particular topic and probes that individual to find out the answers for himself. Because the truth is, there are no challenges outside. The entire solution, the entire answers to every question of yours remains within. The only factor is it is subtle. And there has to be some external force like a coach or a mentor who has to just trigger that emotions of the individual so that he or she can surface on what exactly he or she can do. Every leader in an organization, my dear friends, looks for an optimum performance during his tenure. And how does this optimum performance come? And where from does it come? It comes from people only. Because please understand, for an organization to grow, people plus processes is equal to the productivity. The productivity can be achieved only and only if people are there who are going to run the processes that are created. Who creates the processes? The processes are created by the individual leaders only, the people only. So people play a very important role. One important characteristic that leader should hold is that he should be non-judgmental. He should not judge any individual. The employee that has been recruited within an organization has come up with some purpose. He has been recruited for some objective, and he has been selected because he has some qualities in him. So when some individual is promoted as a leader, he needs to understand that this is the base. And if he is going to nurture the qualities that this individual has got, then I'm sure things will fall in right perspective. And the output that an individual gives can be fitted. So dear friends, the leader should be non-judgmental. When I say non-judgmental, he should accept the person as he is and where he is. And if he does that, the result will be far, far, far ahead. I'm going to tell you 5 steps on how should a leader coach. This may add value to your individual personality. How does a leader coach? The very first aspect is understand that every individual is unique. And I have been saying that right from the beginning. The second point that he needs to keep is they have some past conditioning. The circumstances, the education system, the friend circle that he has been groomed with, environment that he has come up with, the family that he belongs to. A small incident of child abuse can reflect in a very negative way to the individual throughout his or her life. There are examples, my dear friends, when that has been corrected, the entire journey has changed and shifted. I can quote many such examples of the coaching that I have done to many people, and their trajectory of life has changed drastically. There are different tools like neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, which acts very powerfully. And this NLP can be used as a powerful tool. Although I consider that as a shortcut or maybe, immediate result generator, not a permanent lasting thing. There are 2 types of things that you need to understand as a leader. There are character ethics and personality ethics. Personality ethics are just to impress upon others. And character ethics is there to remain with you for a longer time, for the lifelong thing. It is said that whenever you talk on telephone, you should smile. Whenever you shake your hand, you have to give a small press or gentleness. All these aspects can be learned over a period of time. These are all skills. But these skills are all personality ethics. But when we talk about character ethics, it has to come from within. When you're smiling on the phone, is it genuine? Is it coming from the heart? Because the person, although he cannot see you on the other side, he can see your smile. He can see your intention. He can see the power with which you are going to, communicate yourself effectively. Communication has got a very powerful role to play, my dear friends. The third point on the, how should a leader coach is create the atmosphere of learning. How can you do that? As a leader, when I elevate myself to that particular position or the organization gives me that responsibility, I normally feel that I'm in charge now. And I start contributing more or talking more. But the responsibility of the leader is to listen more. Because the more you listen, the more things come out of the individual. And maybe one of the sequence that he is talking about, he is going to discuss how that individual can be grown to the next level. Every individual, as I've been mentioning, is a unique guy or girl. You need to talk to them based on what is their requirement. Identify that. And how will you come to know about their requirements? By asking intuitive questions. Just before the coaching sessions, you need to pray. You need to add up value. And my dear friends, please understand the values that you live by are the core essence of your life. Your purpose is hidden behind them. Can you try to find out what values are there for you? Are you living those values? Because people around you, including your children, do as you do. They do not do as you tell. So are you doing things properly before telling anybody? Is the question that you need to ask yourself. The last point that is important, my dear friends, find what is the reason that motivates or inspires the individual. Zig Ziglar, the famous motivational speaker, says that motivation is temporary, but needs to be taken every day, like how we bathe, how we take a bath. The very important aspect here to understand is, if at all I give a reason for some activity to be done, some work to be completed on time, some task to be taken to the next level. My objective of achieving the performance comes, and also I am giving the individual a reason what he needs to do or why he needs to do. Give him his why. And if he is able to get that, my dear friends, your work becomes much more simpler and easier. That's why instead of motivating him, inspire him. Inspiration comes from within, and that comes when you have a concrete objective to achieve, when you have a concrete goal to reach. And that goal can be reached only and only if you have a powerful inclination and you know where are your milestones set with. Maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, short term, mid term, long term. What are the goals that you want to achieve? My dear friends, bringing spiritual inclination to your entire developmental activity of coaching, there are 9 stages that you need to look at. What are those 9 stages and why spiritual inclination is needed? Spiritual doesn't mean religious. Spiritual means your spirit that is within, the soul that is within. And that soul, if it is given a concrete direction, I'm sure reaching the individual's soul becomes much more easier. Now, what are these 9 stages of spiritual development that I'm talking about? The number 1 is, if you observe, what are the different stages that we have gone through, you have gone through, you and I, every individual has gone through, is the dependency stage. That is from 0 to 3 years. Now, what happens in this 0 to 3 years is we experience a lot of love. We experience a lot of nurturing. We experience a lot of maybe, affection, and there is no judgments in that particular period. You might have seen a small baby who is born, how, clearly he smiles. Every time there is always a very, very bright smile on the face. And how does that come? Because there is no expectation from anybody. Because there is nothing that he is wanting in his life which he has not got. The desires are not to that extent. What is important is as the age starts growing, we start expecting certain things. And the expectation is one of the major killers of anything. It may be a relationship, it may be, your own peace of mind, it may be harmony, it may be happiness, or it may be all the positive qualities that you need to imbibe it. Okay. Dear friends, the second most important area is the relationship building. The 4 years to 10th year of age of any child, if you observe very minutely, he starts recognizing his parents. He starts recognizing his friends and starts demanding certain things. And this demand is creating, that is where he's trying to connect himself with something in life. He knows who his father is, who his brother is, who his sister is, and tries to connect very, very strongly. The spiritual connection starts beginning over there. The third is basically 11 years to 20 years. He is striving for balance with logic. He's striving for maintaining a balance. And how does that happen? The fourth area is the perception. He develops his perception capability, and that happens in the age of 20 years. He starts getting a perspective. The teenagers, if you understand very minutely, are the ones for that. Till such time they were obeying their parents or doing whatever the parents were telling them. But here, all of a sudden, at 20th year, he starts creating a resistance, a barrier. He doesn't accept everything that is told to you. And why does that happen? Because he starts getting a perspective. Then basically remembering. There are certain incidents that have happened in the past. There are certain incidents that are happening in the teenage. There are certain lessons that the individual has learned. There is a graduation that he has achieved. He has got a degree to flaunt upon, and all those things happen. So basically, he's remembering certain things from the past, and he's using that to act in the future. That's the fifth area where he's trying to develop his spiritual quotient. And the next is basically in the age group of 30 to 40s, he's been building his own strong mental block. He's building his own strong value systems, and he's building his own strong area of growth. That is where he's trying to connect himself wealth is the priority at that time. Maybe power is the priority at that time. Maybe for some, people would be looking at contribution. There are various other aspects which are there, which he looks for when he is in the futuristic thought process of how he is going to create. And he's trying to replicate his children to do what he has done for the future, or maybe give them a different perspective of life on what they want to achieve and how they need to achieve. The education of children becomes a priority there. Then 40 to 50 years, my dear friends, is the time for introspection. Every individual starts looking within. What's the purpose of my life? What am I living for? What is my identity? What do I really want from life? All these questions start bothering when we are in 40 to 50 years of age. And that's where your intelligence quotient, your emotional quotient, your spiritual quotient, all the things put together are the ones that are asking you questions. 40 to 50 years of age group, my dear friends, please understand there is some amount of thought process that goes in the mind. You suddenly become silent. And that silence means something. If I am able to connect to that silence very, very powerfully, and I have seen many people getting spiritually inclined during that particular phase also. Life is beautiful, my dear friends. And when the introspection happens, 50 plus is the real great stages of actual spiritual bliss that an individual can look at. He starts looking at various parameters of, spiritual scriptures. He starts looking at maybe, how the life is all about. He tries to connect to all the gurus of the world, and all those things happen because he's starting in search of excellence or in search of meaning for life. And 60 plus, my dear friends, we start winding up. These are the 9 stages that we go through. Each one of us has to go through, and we face these typical challenges that come up across our life. So coaching for a leader, again, coming back to the main topic, is that this spiritual quotient, can I try to connect? If I am able to use my mind, my entire body, and the spirit for the cause of improvising or giving an individual a purpose of life and helping him reach his pinnacles, then I am sure my pinnacles already I reach. My dreams are already achieved. That's why it is said very, very powerfully, help others reach their goals, so you achieve your goals automatically. So what are your goals? Have you thought about it? What is the purpose of your life? Have you thought about it? Every leader needs to connect with himself first. And once he does that, his spiritual growth, his social growth, his 7 areas we try to talk about: personal, professional, physical, financial, the wheel of life, typical wheel of life, which we normally use, can be considered as my growth story for my own self. Only professional development is not important. Can you be a reason for a holistic development of your subordinate? An HR person should ask this categorically. And this question should keep bothering him every moment. What is the contribution I'm making to the individual today? And if that is done in a proper way, my dear friends, I'm sure things will be falling in place. Remember, no person is inferior. It's their limitations in the past that has stopped them from the growth story. So dear friends, coaching, personal coaching and professional coaching is an important aspect. In the coming decade, we are going to witness a big amount of euphoria into this. In India, coaching is yet at a very nascent stages. It's not done in a very, very professional and professional way. But if it is utilized, it can do wonders. Use coaching as a powerful tool is my message to you all. It's a $1 trillion industry, particularly for trainers and coaches who would like to be a part of this entire learning and development journey, my dear friends. Let me promise you, next decade is going to witness a huge amount of change. Every organization will be hiring coach as a profession, as a professional within the organization, to train the leaders, to coach the individuals, and also to go coach the organizations. Group coaching is another area where we can try to look at, where a mass group of 5 to 6 people, like-minded people within an organization working for a common cause and common goal are there, and they can try to reach over there. So these are the different aspects of personal coaching, and coaching is the need and base of life is what I would like to tell. I do self-coaching for myself whenever I am feeling low, whenever I feel loss of my confidence. It happens sometimes, my dear friends, is a cycle of life. Sometimes when there is certain things that are not happening as per your choice, then you feel low. And during that time, if you are not able to connect to yourself at a very faster pace, then, and again bounce back to the main action of life, then it doesn't happen. So I try to use self-coaching tools. There are many tools that are there which can be used for self-coaching. And these are all the art of asking questions. So personal coaching is very important for every individual. Use it for self-coaching and coaching your team around. Hari, I think I have touched my time. Uh, I can continue on and on, but I think the time also is a constraint. So these are the basic informations that I wanted to provide to you about what personal coaching can do for the organization and organizational growth, and how HR professionals should use this as a powerful tool to groom their team. Thank you so much. I thank Hariharan Iyer and HSSE organization for giving me this opportunity to share my views. Thank you so much, Hari. A good friend of mine for almost about a decade or so. We have been traveling a journey, and he is doing a wonderful job for the learning and development community. Thank you so much, Hari. Thanks a ton.
Thank you, Anand. I can let you talk, but Juhi is the one in charge. So she has not slaughtered me this time. In the agenda, I couldn't see anywhere my name. So I have not authorized to allow you to continue.
Sure. That's it.
But thank you so much. It was really amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anand sir. Within a short span of time, you have unfolded many thoughts around coaching and what coaching is actually and what it is not. And in any case, if our audience have some questions, they can now unmute and ask their questions. We already have one question in the chat box from Hesa Bikash. And the question is, how does one find out what values one can live by?
Fantastic. Values are the system that have been imbibed in you right from the childhood days. I will give you a small tool for that. Write down all the positive values on a card, visiting card. You might have seen the blank cards are available in the market. So write down whatever values that you feel are real values. You should write down. There are about 76, 77 values that I have written it down for myself. And every day, if you start a practice of picking up one card and living for the day, that value becomes your part of life. Now, those values can be integrity, honesty, self-love, self-belief, discernment, maybe contribution, maybe, peace, love. There are many, 76 such different values are there. Try to Google it out, you will get it. And what are your values? If you have to understand, randomly sit with yourself after your meditation, pick up 5 cards. If you are able to live those 5 values, my dear friends, trust me, your life can be miracles. And as a matter of practice, pick up 1 card every day and put it back again in the card, shuffle it. Next day again, pick up a card and promise to yourself, I will be giving that value to myself first, and the value to all the others whom I am going to meet throughout the day, with whom I am going to interact throughout the day. For all the iPhone users, I would recommend, please download a mobile app on your mobile. Android, it is not there, but iPhone, it is there. There is a CLI cards, it's there. You can, there is a shuffling over there. There is a reset over there. How to use it is being told. Every day, you can just pick up 1 card from that and leave that value for yourself. Trust me, this tool will definitely change the direction of your life. And all the 76 values that I'm talking about are there in that card. So iPhone users, my strong recommendation, CLI, Coaching and Leadership Institute Canada has prepared that, from where I learned my coaching practice. I'm a student of CLI. So from there, I have learned that those 76 values, if you live one value every day, trust me, this process works great wonders. This also is a powerful tool. Thank you, Prakash. Yes, I know you are using these cards. Prakash Nayak is one of my friend actually who is using this value systems cards on a daily basis. One card every day. I am using it myself. And that card will give you the direction for the entire journey of your life. I hope I have answered this question.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, can I just say something?
Yeah,
Yes,
Prakash.
Prakash sir.
Yeah. For last 2.5 months, I'm in touch with the Anand for personal coaching. So he is coaching me. I'm a development officer, senior business associate with the LIC of India. Also have a small business model to run in addition to that. So he is helping me to scale up my business development plan and optimize the resources that I have. And his coaching is becoming so handy. And I am hoping to get very quantum jumps in the coming months. And one that he says that living with that self mastery card, though I don't do on a regular basis, but at least 2 to 3 times in a week I do that.
Fantastic.
But it actually gives you a reminder to your self development. So I have one question, Anand, I put it. Maybe
Yeah,
that
please,
we can
please.
take it in the coaching session, but just for everybody's benefit. It is a tough question, so you have to give a appropriate answer. So
Sure.
I've posted in the group. If you can just see the achievement.
Is it? Okay.
So the question is, which process or deep thought trigger the strong belief system to take action towards achievement?
So achievement mindset. What triggers
Yeah.
achievement mindset?
Great. Very good. A very important and pertinent question you have asked. And the answer to this, is not instant or like Maggie or, basically instant food. It is a journey.
Okay.
It has to be experimented. It has to be understood, and you have to get connected to that. Develop a positive mental attitude towards that, and a correct and right mindset can give you that. And trust me, my dear friends, this is individual for every person. Whenever you are looking at this belief system for the purpose of growth story, the belief system for anything else, that all triggers back down to your childhood days, or maybe to the areas that are anchoring you. Because what happens is, during the journey of our life, whenever you have attempted something in the past and has not worked, it works as anchor for you. It stops you from growing. And what is that? If we are able to understand that and unsolve it in a very, very proper and scientific way, who can do it? Coach? No. Coach doesn't give answers. He helps you to find out your answer, because the answer lies within. I am a firm believer of that. Prakash ji, I have collaborated with you. I am not teaching you anything. It is you who is learning things from your own self. I'm just asking. I'm just a facilitator
Actually,
for you.
I have come to know that you make us to introspect and identify and dig in our own self to find the answer, because that is the right tool. Because every tool cannot, each plug is different.
Right.
There is no universal plug.
There is no universal plug. Absolutely no. And our journey of life, everybody's journey of life is different. So respect everybody, do not judge anybody, and ensure that you are going to contribute maximum to the individual, so that
we have to find our own alignment. Yeah. Anyway, well said. Well said. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prakash ji, for that question. And thank you, Anand sir. Anyone else who has questions can put it up in the group. We'll pass it on to Anand sir, and maybe he can connect individually later. Now it's time to move ahead. And it is time for a very prestigious section. And before that, let us formally thank Anand sir for that wonderful session. Thank you so much, sir.